what our partner-driven coaching program is all about. So if you're willing to invest time into yourself, willing to invest some money into yourself, you're really just willing to invest in yourself like any other business owner does, you need to absolutely schedule a call with us, and then we'll show you how to get this thing going. But guys, this is an exciting night for us because once again, we have somebody here on board with us that has been through our coaching program. And boy, let me tell you something. There are some people that go through the program that do well. There's people that go through the program that don't do as well. But this guy, I mean, and I'm going to let Jason speak for himself, but I would say this business has been a transforming thing for him. From where he was before he got started to where the journey he embarked on to where he is now. I remember Jason when he and I got started, and Jason ain't the same Jason as he was.
No.
I think in one way or another, Jason and I have done now at least a couple hundred deals in some capacity. Mm-hmm. This guy is absolutely tearing it up. He is really the epitome of what it means to be successful in this business. It is, it's kind of like it's a little bit like my story. When I got started in this thing, I brought some resources in, but I've been very successfully lost them all in this business. So, I literally started at ground zero after I managed to lose everything I brought in. So he's like, he is kind of like what I did, kind of rags to riches story, right, as a result of this business. And so he's a super, super investor. He's a super individual. We're actually been working with Jason now inside our offices. That's how much we care about him. So Jason, I don't need to tell your story. Why don't you tell your story a little bit from the get-go of just a little bit before you got in this business, and then kind of what happened after you got in this business?
Well, I was a college dropout. I went to school for a couple of years, and then one day I was in college, and I was just thinking like, man, this school stuff just isn't for me. I just decided to quit school. I came home and started working. I got into the restaurant business. I started out as a server, and then I eventually started. I pretty much became a cook and started working in the kitchen. And I did that for about almost 5 years. And one day I was actually on the way to work, and I heard one of those real estate seminars on the radio. Come learn how to flip houses, no money down, no credit. And it was actually one of the Rich Dad Poor Dad seminar things. So I decided to check it out, and pretty much they talked about wholesaling, and then they tried to upsell you on the weekend course, which I did take. I actually did do it. My girlfriend, she was actually the one that pushed me to do it. I was kind of skeptical of it at first, and she was actually the one that pushed me to do it. I went for it. I went through the weekend course, and of course they wanted to upsell you on their higher coaching programs at the end that were $30,000 to $50,000, and I said, no way, I definitely don't have that kind of money there. So I started to do my own research after that about wholesaling, and I actually just started to take action. I actually started to send out mail. I was actually getting calls in. I was talking to sellers, but I just couldn't get a deal done. And I was cruising through Craigslist one day, and I saw one of your ads in there about looking for bird dogs in Atlanta. And I pretty much contacted you, and you told me to come up to the office. I came up to the office, and I saw firsthand what you were doing, and how the wholesaling operation you had in Atlanta. So I became one of your bird dogs in the beginning, and you gave me the contracts, and I went out, I locked the deal down, and actually at the same time, I actually signed up to be on your coaching program, kind of in the midst of that also. And I would say about 4 weeks into your program, I got my first deal under contract, and you actually helped me close it. I don't know if you remember, but it was a deal in Riverdale, Clayton County. And you actually helped me close the deal, and it was a $1,500 check, and I was happy. That was like the biggest check I've ever gotten. It's not big, but yeah, at the time it was a big check for me. So from there, I just kept following everything you told me to do, and now I'm here. I'm closing deals every week, every month.
One thing about you, Jason, is I can even remember, I think it was the end of last week, I needed help selling a wholesale deal, and who did I call?
Yeah, you did call me. Yep.
You know
You
why?
did.
Because you're better at the buyers here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, I mean, you just did a better job than I did. So, you know, you went from working with Peter to now to the point to where I'm learning from you, which is exciting. And you know, it's been a great adventure. You know, with us three, whenever we were 4 offices ago and we were
Hmm.
all together and doing our own thing and doing things together and we
Yep.
never really left. But I know since I've been in the business with Peter, you and I've been together the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm here. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm here. And yeah, Peter actually, I think it was probably about a year or two down the line. Yeah, Peter brought me onto the team, and I was actually kind of in charge of the disposition side of the wholesale deals that you guys get. And I learned just a ton of just working with you guys. You know, being a part of the deals, and like Peter said before, yeah, we've definitely done at least a couple hundred deals together for sure.
Mhm.
You know, Jason, there's a lot of people that are listening in tonight. There's going to be a lot more people that listen on the recording. And you know, the one thing that kind of frustrates me, and I literally just went through this like 10 minutes ago, and maybe you could kind of maybe you could give it a little bit different a perspective from your side. So I get this call about 30 minutes ago, right?
Hmm.
And the guy is, you know, corporate guy, sounds like he makes pretty good money, but, you know, broke, you know, just broke at a higher level. And he started talking for a couple minutes, and he was just fired up about this business. I mean, as I was explaining to him what we do and how we partner with people and all this, he and I were just hitting it off. You know, we were just jiving, you know, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, listen, I'm ready to jump in. This corporate world's eating me alive. I never see my kids. I don't do this. You know, I'm still paycheck to paycheck, even though I make, you know, good amount of money, blah, blah, blah. He said the freedom on all this. And he's like, this is perfect. He said all the right things. And then he says this. He says, Pete, but obviously you know who makes the decisions in this household. He said, I got to talk to my wife. And since that 30 minutes, he's called me back about 2 or 3 times. And the conversation went pretty simple. Hey, Pete, it's a courtesy call. My wife said it's just not the right time for me right now.
Mm.
Keep me in mind, you know, keep on following me and all this. But talk from your perspective. There's a lot of people that get on the fence about this business. You know they want to do it. You know, they probably don't even know they want to do it. They want the results of it. You know, they want
Hmm.
the results of it. But there's some holding them back. You know, usually it's things that are just like, I guarantee you, if this guy's wife told him he can't play softball this weekend with his buddies, he'd be like flipping her the bird and leaving, right? So
Yeah.
usually it's kind of one of those things. So what do you know, from your perspective, you know, you came out of really, like you said, $1,500, the first deal you did was the biggest check you ever made. So it's not like you came out a tremendous amount of wealth and all this. What do you tell the guy, or what do you tell people that are on the fence about this business? You know, they're just like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I want to do it, but I don't want to do it. I'm scared. I'm not sure. I don't have the confidence. I don't have the skill set, blah, blah, blah. Talk a little bit about, because, you know, you're probably a little bit, you're closer to them because you haven't been doing, I've been doing this 20 years. I
Hmm.
can't speak to those people at all. I mean, literally, I got that mode. You know, you're not quite 20 years into this business. Plus, you're younger than me. You have better memory than me. What do you tell a guy that's like comes to you and says, well, gosh, Jason, I don't know about this business. I know I want the results, but is it really worth it? Should I be getting in this business?
Well, I tell people this all the time. You know, if you want to continue to work for somebody for the next 40 years, that's fine. But at the same time, you know, if people are broke or if the stuff that they're doing right now doesn't work and the jobs that they're at's just not working for them, you know, it's not going to get any better. And with real estate, I'm always, I tell people, you got to be really committed. You have to be committed to it. And it's definitely a real business. I don't know if some people think that wholesaling doesn't work or if real estate doesn't work. It's a working business, and it does work, and it only works if you put the time and energy into it. But for the people that are on the fence, I just tell them, like, do you want to live the rest, you know, the next 40 years paycheck to paycheck, or do you want to spend a year or two or maybe 5 years building a business to eventually give you a lifetime of freedom? And they just have to decide for themselves. You know, I tell them it's a real business. I tell that to people all the time. If people think it's a scam or something, it's not. It's a real business. It works. People are making money every single day, whether the market's up or down. It's a recession-proof business, you know, as long as you're putting in the work for it. And just go for it. You got to jump eventually. That's what I say.
No,
That's the most amazing answer I have ever heard. Like, Jason, you're a badass. Just for
I try.
even saying that, because, you know, one thing that I hear is, you know, people don't want to put the effort in that it takes to be successful in this business. And it's like the old cliche, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's just not. I mean, you're not going to ever pay somebody to make you successful. You know, Jason, I know you work harder than just as much as anybody I know. And even now, I work harder now than I worked 4 years ago.
Yeah, I can say the same thing too. You know, even when I first started out, I thought I was doing work. You know, of course, I mean, it's all relative. Back then, yeah, it was a lot of work for what I was doing. But, you know, now I've advanced into my career a little bit, and I'm doing stuff every single day. This is what I do full time. So, you know, I wake up and I breathe, sleep real estate. I go to sleep thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it, and you just got to take action every day. You know, that's the only way that you're going to be successful is you got to take massive action every single day. You can't let up.
Well, I'll tell you this, on your marketing campaign from Georgia Residential Marketing, I see your emails of all the deals you're getting. Man, I know Peter and I are just so proud of you.
Yeah, hey, I learned from the best, you know, Peter himself. So
Yeah.
I learned everything from him.
no, that's awesome. So, Jason, let me ask you this. What you do today on a day-to-day basis, is it different from what you did when you got started? And if it is, what's the difference?
Well, I would say on a day-to-day basis, I'm probably spending most of my time marketing. I do a lot of online research. Right now I'm doing a ton of cold calling. I've been doing about 100 to 150 calls a day just by myself. And I've actually just recently brought on a cold caller. I'm kind of, you know, sort of building like a call center type of thing that you had. And yeah, I actually brought on a cold caller to help me make these calls, but that's where I'm spending the majority of my time is marketing for seller leads, you know, and at the same time, I'm always marketing for buyers. I'm always out in the neighborhood checking out houses. I'm always driving for dollars. And, you know, that's just what I do every single day, and just networking with people. I remember when I first got started, one of the tasks that you gave me was to get connected with at least 5 people every single day that are in the real estate market, whether they're agents, whether they're wholesalers, landlords, fix and flippers, something, you know, just make connections with people every single day. And I've been doing that. You know, I still do that to this day, just making new connections every single day with new people, whether they're agents, newbie wholesalers, experienced wholesalers, you know, anybody that's in the real estate business, just make connections with them and building that database. And at the same time, I got to feed my database with deals. So I'm always marketing for sellers. You know, that's probably where I spend majority of my time right now is marketing.
You know, it's amazing that you're saying this because literally you're hundreds of deals into this business, hundreds of thousands of probably maybe even over $1 million in profits in this business, this business. And what you just said that you do now at a high level, because you are, you know, you're at the top echelon now. It's the exact same thing I tell the newbies. But it's amazing. It's just, there's certain things about this business that never change, is it? It's all marketing, whether you're marketing for a buyer, you're marketing maybe for a seller, and it's all about, you know, it's so funny. We'll be working with someone new here. And this is what we hear from, okay, I want to do a deal. I want to do a deal. Well, when are we going to do a deal? I'm like, well, dude, marketing and networking, that's real estate. That's doing deals. You know, they think doing deals, I think, is just like showing up and cashing a check. They think it happens like, you know, I'll say, well, what does doing deals mean exactly? Well, I don't know, but I got to do a deal, man. I needed to do a deal.
Yeah.
networking? Are we marketing? Yeah, but I got to do a deal. And it's so good to hear you. And you know, it's funny because 20 years into this business, that's the only thing I do. I just do it a little bit at a higher, maybe a little bit higher level than most. I do a little bit differently. But even what we're doing here tonight, this is how Julie and I market for deals. You know, whereas you're hitting the phone, you got a caller on there, you may be doing some direct mail. You know, Julie and I just kind of moved up the food chain a little bit because our footprint's a little bit bigger. And then this is how we find deals. This is how we build relationships across country.
Yep.
You know, every day. I mean, literally, even this guy that I was making an example of today, when he called me, the conversation started like every other conversation starts. I saw you on this, or I follow you on this. So this business, it's all about marketing because marketing develops deals, and it's all about networking because networking develops everything else.
Yep.
Networking develops relationships, money, buyers, sellers, knowledge, partnerships. So if you're not doing one of those two things, you're out of business. You know, it doesn't matter what level you're at. You know, again, the act of doing that changes a little bit. But the reality of it is the basics are still the basics. Now, Jason, talk about, I know you said, now I know we know you have a caller now. When was the first time you brought somebody on board onto your team? How long were you in the business, and what was the functionality of that person?
Well, I brought this person on about 2 months ago, actually. So I've actually been a one-man show for a couple of years now, you know, aside from working with you also. But pretty much the main job for this person was I was basically doing all the skip tracing, all the researching, and I just had them making the phone calls for me and setting up the appointments. I gave them a script to follow, just a few certain questions, basic questions, beds, baths, why you're selling, how fast are you looking to sell, you know, what were you looking to get for it? And then they're basically just scheduling the appointment for me to go out there and negotiate in person with them. You know, I've learned that from you is it's, you know, you get better results negotiating in person. You know, with real estate, with wholesaling, you gotta negotiate deals to get the prices right. Because, you know, at the end of the day, the numbers have to work whenever you're flipping these houses to buyers. The numbers just have to work.
No, that's awesome. And, you know, yeah, I always tell people you should always be staying focused on what we talked about, marketing, or you should be staying focused on networking. But then reality is we all know that there are things in this business that need to be done. I mean, like it or not, there are things that have to be done that are not necessarily tied into either marketing or networking. Like, for instance, you get a property under contract. You got to take that sucker to closing. That's not really one of those things that's going to make you more money. But if you don't do it, you're making no money. You know?
Exactly.
Well, the other function is what you hired out, and I'm glad to hear you say that. You know, basically taking that initial call, a qualifier, and teeing that thing up. So that is a function that not necessarily is making you money, but boy, it's got to be done. All the bad callers, they get rid of all the crazy callers. They get rid of people that say, "Don't ever send me this" or "Don't ever call me again." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guy that has a house that's worth $100,000 and he thinks it's worth $6 million.
Yep.
So what that person does is it puts you in a position to make money. Because it puts you in a position with a potentially qualified seller. You know. So
it frees up all my time. You know, I can spend more time, you know, making connections with more buyers, adding people to my database, or just networking with other wholesalers to maybe do JV deals. As I do a lot of that also. I JV with a ton of wholesalers. That's kind of one of my lead sources is just from a select few wholesalers that I work with. Me and a select few guys, we close deals every single month, and you know, we're making money together.
Yep. Very, very smart. You know, I always tell people this is a business of leverage.
Yeah.
I leverage here in my business through the people that work here for us. You know, we leverage, like, you know, Julie's not above doing a skip tracing herself, but not really a great use of her time if she has to skip trace 100 properties a day. So we leverage our time with through other people. Now, this is a great example of what you talked about, you could also leverage other successful people in this business. I mean, think about it. If you own a dry cleaners, you ain't going to leverage the guy across the street. I mean, the guy across the street is going to want death upon you. You know what I mean? That's really, he ain't going to, there's not going to be any kind of unison play here. This is one of the few businesses where you could literally, to a certain degree, approach your competition, which you and I don't look at them as competition. Look at them
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, those are opportunities. Think about this. I could be a brand new person getting in this business, not have money for marketing, not have a skill set for answering calls myself, not having the expertise in how to close a deal from the time it gets under contract to the time it has to be closed, not really understand, like, how do I secure money? I mean, I could have, like, zero going for me, but if I understand the concept of leverage and I understand that there's actually people out there, like other wholesalers, other investors, that create all these opportunities. They're spending money.
Yeah.
They're negotiating. They're people's doors. I mean, think about this. Pretty much every single thing we need here, you could leverage off of, right?
Yep. I can tell you this. There's been I would say at least a dozen new wholesalers that I've actually helped close their first deal. Like a new wholesaler, they'll hit me up and say, Jason, I got this deal. I need help moving it. I don't have any buyers, and I can get it sold in a day or two. And, we can split the profits, or you can just pay me a small marketing fee. I'm not greedy at all. I'm just about doing more deals and helping more people close more deals. If you have a deal and you need help selling it, hey, I can help you sell it. We can make money together. I've done countless deals like that. Countless.
Jason, that's like, for people that are watching this that are in the Atlanta area, like, seriously, I have never seen someone as good as you on the disposition side. I mean,
yeah, I've learned a lot on that. Yeah, I have, for sure.
Like, you're great at it. And the one thing that I love that you brought to the table tonight is I love how you're explaining to everybody the processes that you went through to get to where you are now. But most certainly, I mean, people could learn a lot about you and what you're doing, your tenacity, for sure.
Yep. Just got to be consistent. Got to take action every day. I know I've probably said that a couple times so far, but I can't say it enough. You just got to take action every day. That's the thing. Talking to people, networking with people, leveraging people, and opportunities are everywhere. They're literally everywhere.
No, that's great. So, Jason, if you could do it all over again, what would you have done differently?
I probably would have did everything that I was doing, but I probably would have times that by 10, honestly. I probably would have sent out more direct mail, did more driving for dollars, made more phone calls every day, and just taking more chances, really. I actually, looking back now, looking at a few deals that I've sold in the past, a couple of years ago, I look back now and was thinking, like, man, I probably could have fixed and flipped that deal or held on to that deal as a rental property or something back then. But, I didn't know anything. I was new. So, hey, I would say back then I would just take more risk. Don't be scared. Just do it. What's the worst that can happen? They say no, or you have to cancel a contract. I'd say that's the worst thing that can happen.
Jason, one of the things people are scared about when they start this business, and I know this just because I talk to so many, like you, I talk to a lot of people getting started, and what they're scared about, they're scared about the unknown, but they're scared there's something in this business they're not going to be able to do. And I could see that, because usually most things that prevent us from being successful in something is because we can't do something. Like, I can't be an NBA basketball player. I mean, man, if I join a team, no matter how much I practice, boom, I ain't going to do it. Put me inside a hospital room and you ask me to perform surgery, I'm out. I don't have the skill set. You ask me to work at NASA Space Center tomorrow, I'm gone. So really what happens in life, we're kind of trained to look at things from a perspective of our skill set. And can we develop that skill set? And I always tell people this is a really cool business because in this business, there's nothing that you ever have to do that you don't have a skill set for. Agree? Like, is there anything that like I taught you that you were like, well, holy shit, Pete, yeah, like you're like you went to school and I didn't go to school. You know, you're white and I'm not. You're north side of Atlanta and I live in the south side of Atlanta. I mean, has there ever been anything like that in this business that you're like, hell no, can't do it, no, I don't have a skill set?
I would say this, when I first started, probably just talking to sellers was probably my most frightening thing was to do in the beginning, was talking to sellers, not knowing, not knowing what I was talking about, or the sellers thinking that, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or he's going to screw me over, or things like that. I would say that was probably my biggest fear in the beginning, was just talking to sellers and even buyers too. Just, trying to present a deal to them and seeing how they would react, or if they asked me questions about something, me not knowing how to answer them or not knowing the answer to them. And I would say, just talking to people. But now, no, I'm not afraid to get on the phone with anybody. If you want me to call 100 sellers, let's do it. Let's get on the phone and knock them out. Everybody's, we're all human beings. The other person on that other line isn't, they're all humans. We're all humans. So, everybody talks, and, a lot of people think that they can't do something now. It doesn't mean that you won't be able to develop the skill set for it. I think even talking with buyers, I wasn't that good with talking with buyers in the beginning, but I feel like now over time, I've talked to hundreds of buyers, I know what they want. So, it's just kind of a skill set that I've developed over the years just by doing it. Repetition, repetition makes everything better. That's how you get good at stuff. You got to do it over and over and over. And eventually things will just click.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, because the one thing I constantly heard you say in this answer is, one, very good at it, but I still did it, right? So
yeah.
Down to, there's nothing in this business that all of us can't do. It's just some things are a little bit, you know what it is about this business I've learned, Jason? It's not the skill set. It's just that some things are just more uncomfortable than others.
Yeah. It's uncomfortable. It is.
Yeah, it's like talking to sellers. I get it. I mean, unlike you now, I could talk to a seller till the cows come home. But when I got started, I could kind of see that. But it was uncomfortable. It wasn't impossible.
Yeah.
Possible. What a great business that we're all part of, that Julie, you, I, and 30 other people that we can line up here that are totally random, and we could literally look at each one of them in the eye and say, if I could do it, you could do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Cliche term that people use all over the place. And like sometimes people say that and you're like, well, that's BS. It cracks me up, like these actors will get up there and they're beyond skilled and they're accepting some award. And then, yeah, I know I could do it. You could, really? No, I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this is a business where literally we could all, anyone in the eye, and, we're all pretty different here. I'm me, Julie's her, you're you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that came out. It was kind of weird the way it came out. But, I mean, we're three different, pretty darn different people with three different really different backgrounds, looking, different skill set, different genders, different. And I bet every one of us could look at any 30 random people and literally say, you know what, I did it, and so can you.
Yep. I can definitely say that for me, because I'm not the sharpest tool in the toolbox growing up. I was a C student growing up. I didn't make straight A's. I wasn't a public speaker, nothing like that. I'm just a regular guy. I graduated high school, went to college for a few years. I didn't finish it, just came home, started working at the restaurant. And yeah, I jumped into real estate, and it's been the best decision in my life, for sure. I definitely can't thank you enough also, because you were my first coach, and, I took a chance with you, and, I just listened to what you said, even if it sounded crazy, or if it felt like I couldn't do it. I just did it. I just trusted it and just went for it. And hey, it's worked out for me well.
No, that is, Jason, you don't know how often I talk about you. I really do. I use you as an example to so many people. I mean, I really do. I mean, you don't know how proud I am of you, Jason. There's
I get calls. I get a lot of calls from people too. You know, a lot of people that signed up for your program, they call me up. You know, I don't know if they saw me on Facebook or maybe on a previous video or something, but I get calls all the time. You know, people telling me that they've heard about me from you and all that kind of stuff.
That's funny. That's funny. But no, I really am, Jason, because reality of it is this. You know, we could all sit here and pat each other in the back, and we've all come a long way in this business, and we've all achieved some tremendous amount of success, I think. But the bottom line is this. We all also know this, that this business is littered with a bunch of people that quit. I mean,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, we
Definitely.
don't know. Julie knows these people. You know these people. God
Yep.
knows these people.
Yep.
And the reason I'm so proud of you, it's not the hundreds of deals you've done, which I'm proud of you for. It's not all the money you've made, which I really am proud of you for. It's not the life that you changed because of you. I mean, from where you were to where you are now. I mean, I'm proud of you for that. What I'm really proud of you, where you and I have a connection, is you didn't quit. You just quit. Every day, Julie and I hear people quitting. We do.
Yep.
You know, we're part of the educational world, and people quit for I said it's like the stupidest reasons.
Mm-hmm.
They quit is the reason they need to do it. It's like, well, I'm kind of starting to rack up a little debt because of this, so I'm quit. No, you idiot. This is the reason you need to go on so you can get out. You know?
Yep.
Well, this is really taking up more time than I thought. You idiot. That's why you need to do this, so you can free up your time. You know what I mean? People just don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Be honest here, and I know what the answer is, but somewhere along the line, you probably wanted to quit. If you look at it from the first day you got started to where you are now, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, even I would say even after doing your first deal, there's still going to be ups and downs. You know, I would say even most recently, a few months ago, I had a really slow month. You know, I had a bunch of deals fall through the table at closing, and I just didn't make any money for a little while. And I just, I wasn't going to quit at all. I just know that's just part of it. You know, it has its ups and downs. And whenever I'm feeling down like that, I just know I gotta crank it up. Mainly I just gotta continue marketing. I gotta keep getting more leads in my pipeline, because I can't say this enough either. Leads are the pipeline for this business. So if you're not marketing, if you're not talking to people on a daily basis, chances are you're not going to be doing any deals. And if you're not doing deals, you get discouraged, and it makes you want to quit. So no, you got to stick with it, even in the slow parts, and which everybody's going to experience in this business is, you're going to have a few downs along the way also.
Listen, Jason, we appreciate you being here. You know what I like about you is what we just talked about, the challenges, but you're a real dude, man. You're just a real guy. From the day I met you years ago to where you are now, you're just the real deal. And
yeah, try to keep it real, man. Just keeping it real.
I mean, you're the one guy that we could do 20 deals in 1 month, nothing for the next 6 months, and then just pick it all up all over like we did in Mississippi. I mean,
yep.
Really, Jason, I want to tell you, I not only appreciate you, I'm really damn proud of you, Jason. I am so proud of you to be able to, from where you were to where you are now, and just to know that I've had at least a little bit of an impact there.
Big impact.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but you did it all. I mean, hell, we kind of guided you through, but man, that is absolutely awesome. So, guys, listen, this is what we're all about. This is what Julie and I are passionate about. We're passionate about guys like Jason, and we could tell you story upon story upon story. Talk to people like Jason in our partner-driven coaching program all day long. Just today or maybe last night, Julie and I were talking, and she's like, okay, this person is doing this deal, and this person, I'm like, whoa, I didn't know about all this stuff. I mean, we have real people doing real deals, and it is freaking awesome. It is absolutely awesome. So, guys, if you want to learn how to do more deals like Jason, if you want to use our infrastructure here, our people, our resources, our tools, if you want to use my money to close on these deals, if you want us to help you fix these deals, and then when we split the profits, you really got to inquire about our partner-driven coaching program. So the first step in doing that is you want to go to calljuliemuse.com, and you just simply schedule a call. And either myself or Julie or one of our assistants will give you a call. We'll kind of talk a little bit more about the program. We'll find out a little bit more about you. But guys, it's very simple. It has to be made before you make the call, because you know what this business really entails. It's what we've been talking about. It's marketing. It's like blah, blah, blah. You got to know how to do it. But really the only decision when you're making that call is like, how quickly can you get started? If you're like making that call and you're still like confused about everything, and maybe just, I mean, look, Jason is, how old are you, Jason?
I'm 29.
He's freaking 29 years old. At 29 years old, I was still like fumbling around in life trying to figure out what to do with myself. This is a guy that doesn't have to report to work tomorrow. This is a guy who doesn't have to ask his boss when he can go to the bathroom.
Nope.
He doesn't have to ask his boss what time he can eat lunch, how many days a year he can take off, where he can go, because that's what kind of salary they pay him. I mean, this is a free dude because of his business. So the only question you ask yourself is, I mean, is this where you want? Like Jason said, do you want the results or do you not want the results?
Do you want to work for the next 40 years, paycheck to paycheck, or do you want to, jump in and, it's not going to be easy. You might struggle for maybe a few months, or sometimes, it doesn't take long for some people. You just gotta pick and choose.
Jason, it's so funny you say that, because you and I both know all these people that look at this as a struggle, they're already struggling.
Exactly.
Struggling before they get in this business.
Exactly.
Getting into business because they're already struggling, because they already know what they're doing ain't working.
Yep.
That what the way they're spending the time and the way they want to spend it. And then get in this business and they encounter some struggle and they're like, oh my God, struggle. And I'm like, seriously, dude? You've been 20 years of your life, and now all of a sudden you come across here and you're out? Crazy.
Exactly.
Well, guys, listen, Jason, we appreciate this. Were you hitting the rut? Were you pounding the pavement, putting some?
I was actually driving by a couple leads that I had. I had a few sellers give me calls today, and they're literally right down the street from my house. And I ran over there and I took a quick peek at them, and I looked down at the time and I was like, "Oh crap! I forgot I had a webinar with you guys today." So
that
I'm
is
still out in the field.
Jason, that's freaking awesome. Here it is. Like, it was 7:00 our time here when we got started, and he's out there talking to sellers. I mean, that right there, killer stuff. So, guys, go learn more about our program. Go to calljuliemuse.com, schedule a call. We'll go over the details. Jason, man, you're a killer. We appreciate it. On behalf of Julie and everyone here, we all appreciate you being here tonight. You're awesome, and just keep on growing. You're an example to more people than you realize, Jason. We're really proud of you, buddy.
Hey, I appreciate it, you guys having me on here, for sure. It's a privilege.
Thank you, Jason.
Peace.
Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome.
Thanks. See ya.